Don't crash, don't crash. It's the big debut. Let's roll. Welcome back. Today we have back by popular demand, Big Jimbo. Today we are gonna do a review on the old CSC 250. This video is gonna include kind of the features, what it's like to ride it, and Jimbo's opinion of why he bought this instead of, like, say, expensive BMW motorcycle.
I had this bike almost exactly 1 year, and I decided that at 55 years old, I'm ready for another motorcycle, but I am done traveling the roads. My wife doesn't like to ride. I'm not taking long trips. I wanted something fun and easy and agile, and I wanted a few features. I wanted bags. I wanted an adventure bike so that I could hit a trail here or a gravel road or some of that and not worry about it. So I didn't want a little street bike. But I didn't want a big, bulky, heavy bike. You know, I looked at a few of the 1200s and the 800s and all that, and they're cool and nice, and there's a million reasons they're probably better. But at the end of the day, I wanted a smaller, agile bike that at 55, I feel easy on it. At 65, I'm going to feel easy on it and I didn't want to buy an old turd. I didn't want something I'm working on all the time. So then you try to figure out what's out there to buy. There's not a heck of a lot. In the small adventure bike series, there's hardly anything at all. I searched and searched and searched. I finally stumbled across the CSC motorcycle. The boys will get into more details of the specs, but it's kind of what I would call a hybrid version of a lot of these Chinese bikes. I felt like CSC, they filled in a few of the problems that a lot of the other Chinese bikes have, is by taking these bikes into their shop, getting these bikes ready, getting them rigged up, they're test driving and they're running them, they're working through all the bugs and all the little stuff, changing a few things and modifying them so they're better for our terrain. And then they're shipping them out to us to where all we had to do was put the trunk on and the windshield and the mirrors. So within 20 minutes, we've got this bike ready to ride, and we know that somebody else has already been on this bike and rode the bike down the road. It's full of fluids. It's ready to go. There's no missing parts. It was a very, very seamless, wonderful experience. Delivered to my door a year ago. This bike was about $4,300 and some change. I think the boy said it's about $5,000 right now. It is just a 250. They make the bike in a 450. Probably worth the extra $1,000, $1,200 or whatever it is, but for my needs and what I wanted a lightweight, agile bike, and a 250 does a wonderful job. It is fuel injection. It's water cooled. At the end of the day, you can hop on this bike. You can run 55 mile an hour down some windy country roads. It's quiet, it's smooth, and it's got good fit and finish. I think that it's probably over a lot of the other bikes. If you really get to crawling around on this bike, it doesn't, to pick on the Chinese, it doesn't look like a Chinese bike in a lot of respects. I've had BMWs, I've had Hondas, I've had Harleys. They all cost a lot, they all do wonderful things. I'm not saying it's better than a BMW, but for $4,395, I can't imagine anything being better than what this bike is, and I'm totally pleased with my purchase. Thanks to the CSC guys if you're ever watching this video.
All right, now that we got the old man's reasons why he bought this instead of a Honda, a BMW, KTM quality bike, why we've got Chinese bikes instead of quality bikes. Cars are coming. We're gonna hit the road and give you a live reaction of the CSC. Here we go. Let's start this bad boy up. Kill switch. That helps. Hear that fuel injection hum? Ooh, yeah. Alright, now, this thing is a little bit cold nature, so it can take a while to really get it started up, and you really want to let this guy warm up a bit. Super muddy around here. Now we are on the road. So cold out here. It gets up and goes pretty good for a just a little 250. It is much better than say like my Lafon, but that's kind of to be expected because my Lafon, we all know it's just a turd. Keep on cruising on by here. Gotta get all set up for Austin's little B-roll shots because we're pretty fancy. I'm not gonna lie, pretty fancy. Cinematography, totally did not go to school for it or know anything about it. But once we get around the corner here, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more of like a 5 mile an hour to 60 mile an hour. See how it goes, and maybe we can put a time up to it so then you can see how this girl gets with it. The gearing on this, on the other hand, it's a little long, which is good if you're riding it for the highway reasons and all that jazz. Once you get off the road a little bit, it does seem like the gearing's a little high for that at the moment. But a common thing we read on some forums and threads is a lot of the guys switch out that front sprocket to get more of that trail lower end gearing, and still also get a little bit of the top end. But of course, you give and take. It's all about give and take. So the video is, we're comparing it to like why you don't need the big bikes or the expensive stuff. A lot of people get wrapped up nowadays in that, like, you gotta spend all this money just to join a clique or a group, or if you have the best thing in that group, then you'll be accepted. And that might be the case with them Harley riders, that their underwear and their socks match. I don't know. I think that's more just a cute thing they like to show each other. I don't know how that works. But you get on a cheap bike, no, you can't drop it as much, and you can't abuse it like you can the nice bikes. If you go in town, you're just getting some groceries, or you live on a dirt road or whatever, there's no reason this sucker can't be your bike for that job. Alright, we're getting up here. Let's slow it down. There's even a little bit of hill, so ooh. Slow it down here, slow it down. Here we go. Alright, let's see how fast we can get this bad Mamba Jumbo up to 60. We're just kind of rolling. Probably see 10 mile an hour right here. And let's roll. We're gonna redo that one. Totally missed the shifter with my boot. Not used to riding this. Alright, here we go. Oh boy. 45, 50. Not too bad. Not the sexiest shifts out there, but you know, your boy never claimed to be a good rider. Not a good rider at all. Oh, she lugged. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, she died. Even has a check engine light. Oh, was I too rude to it? Were they messing with me and shut the fuel off? If they shut the fuel off on me, I swear. Oh, it's too cold for this. Alright. Let's see here. I don't know, like, my bike doesn't even have a fuel shut off. Does this one? I'm not seeing one. Well, Austin and the chase vehicle here should be here any moment. Is there fuel shut off on it? It died.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I was like just getting on it to get to 60. Oh boy, here I talked all this smack. Buy the Japanese bike. Is there a gas shut off on this?
It's not hitting up.
It went like it ran out of gas. But it's full on. We just filled these up. Somebody playing a dirty prank on us?
I don't know. Guess we let it sit a minute.
It just died like it ran out of gas. Not good for a review, eh?
This is a legitimate question. Is there a gas shut off on your motorcycle?
Not that I'm aware of.
It died on the side of the road. This ain't good for your review video.
Yeah.
We're gonna let it sit a few minutes and with the key off and see if it does anything.
You can come get you, let me know.
Alright, see ya. This ain't good, boys.
Well, I guess if we load it on the trailer and wrap it up, the end will be buy a BMW. We
are out.
We were wrong. Buy the BMW. We are wrong. Quit being cheap as hell.
Spend the extra $1,500 and get the BMW.
Get the BMW. Shoot. Not looking good for Team CSC. Here, I was all for it. I'm like, yep.
Gonna be an easy video today.
Oh, yeah. Gonna be an easy one. Pump it right out. Nope. Come on, baby. Come on. Alright. I heard the fuel pump run.
Just a little bit of gas. It likes just a little bit. There's plenty of air coming out the exhaust, so she didn't lose compression. Nothing too major died.
It has a check engine. Well, here today, my goal was to convince you, the viewer, that you could get a Chinese bike and be happy with life. But let me tell you what. I'm on a Chinese bike. It's 35 degrees out. Pretty cold. Not far from home. And I'm not happy with life right now. It just died. Broke down. This is Colin. Tuning out. And I might tune back in here in 5 seconds if we find the issue when we get back to the shop. I unplugged too, like a sensor near the injector, or the injector itself, I don't know, and the one that looked like it was on the coil, and plugged them back in, and it started.
I'll turn around.
The review's back on, baby. Wow, it's back. It is back, baby. Who knew? So something else interesting about this bike is when you're riding these curves, like right through here and whatnot, it's really not hard to steer this guy. It's not too heavy or anything. You just kind of lean in, lean over, and with it being a light bike and everything, it kind of just hops around everywhere. Wherever you're going, it's going with you. You know, this right here is what this bike's made for. Just kind of putzing around, going on them back road trails. I don't know. I mean, you could do the cross-country trips. People do it with these things. But if I were to do that, I'd probably want the 450 for sure. If you're going to be doing anything on the highway and whatnot. So to recap, should you buy a CSC motorcycle? Well, I don't know. To be honest, what's your use? If you're the dude that's going to be putting 10,000 miles on this sucker a year, then no, this isn't your bike. But say if you're like my dad and you've had this for a year almost and it has 330 miles on it, then yeah, it probably is the bike for you. I'd say it's a step up from a glorified moped. My Lafon, now that's glorified moped range. That's it's basically a scooter. I'm man enough to admit that. But this thing, it can actually feel like a motorcycle a little bit.